Good morning children. I am Kiran Mishra, your English teacher. This is my first video. In this video, I am going to explain the lesson from your course book, lesson number 3, and name is Time and the Faraway Mountain. Dear students, as you can see, lesson number 3, Time and the Faraway Mountain, writer's name is Shikha Tripathi. Students, Shikha Tripathi is one of the India's most well-known travel writer. She spent most of her childhood in Binsar and writes about her travels to little-known places, the adventures she has had, and the people she meets there. Dear students, I am going to tell you about the summary of this lesson, so that it will be easy for you to understand the story. In Time and the Faraway Mountain, we follow the story of Tinemina. Tinemina, a mountaineer who at the age of 25 became the first woman from northeast India to climb Everest. Tinemina was a young girl from Mishmi hills of Arunachal Pradesh who heard the calling of mountains. She had to hide her gender to become an army porter in the mountains, and after being discovered, they let her stay on because her skills were so good, paving the way for more female porters. Determined and inspired to summit Everest, she fundraised for her own private expedition, and against terrible weather conditions, she managed to succeed. Dear children, so this was the summary of this story. Now, open your book. I am going to read the lesson number 3, page number 25. Listen carefully. Time and the Faraway Mountain. In Italy, in the Mishmi hills of Arunachal Pradesh, young Tinemina heard a wondrous call from the mountains in the distance. She was drawn to it, a sound only she could hear. Now students, you can see one star mark in the word Italy. So you can see in the book the pronunciation of Italy, that is Italy. Then you can see 2-star mark on Tinemina. You can see the pronunciation, it is like Ti-ne-mi-na. Now, wondrous. What is the meaning of wondrous? Wondrous means wonderful, almost magical. And one more word is there in this paragraph, drawn to it. What is the meaning of drawn to it? Means very interested in it. The sound in which Tinemina was very interested to listen it. She heard it while she climbed trees. She heard it when she ran through the jungle. She heard it when she spent long days lying under the sun. Whooshu, the sound went whooshu. Ah, Time would smile. What a wonderful life. But one day, her family moved out of Italy to the closest big town ruin. Time's world turned upside down. Students, what is the meaning of Time's world upside down? It means her life changed completely and she was upset. She was not ready to move anywhere because she loved her mountain, wanted to return to her mountains again. So she trudged to school every day for 10 years, glancing wistfully at the mountains in the horizon. When she finally finished her schooling, Time immediately applied to be a porter for army expeditions in the mountains. She would have to carry heavy loads and march over long distances. So students, we can see some words here. Trust, wistfully, porter, expedition. Now what is the meaning of trust? Trust means walked with slow and heavy steps because She did not want to do something. Now, one thing I want to explain you, that when we do not want to do anything and we have to do that one, so that particular situation is called trust. Second word is wistfully. Wistfully, with great longing, with great desire. Now, third is porter, a person who carries luggage and other heavy loads. Then one more word is expeditions, that is journeys by a group of people, usually for a particular purpose, such as Edmund Hillary's expedition to reach the top of Mount Everest. But women were not allowed to be potters in those days. Time did not let that stop her. She dressed as a boy and started to work, carrying nearly 25 kilos of luggage every day. A whole week passed before everyone realized that she was a girl disguised as a boy. Now some explanation parts are: children, we are talking about a girl, Tinemina. She heard sound, wonderful sound, a magical sound, which was coming from Mishmi hills of Arunachal Pradesh. She was very interested in that sound and she was very happy there. But one day, she shifted from that place to ruin with her family. She became very upset, but she had to move on. So she completed her schooling and applied to be a potter for army expeditions. Now we can see some difficult words here. Wondrous. Wondrous is adjective of wonderful, means remarkable. Here, wondrous is used for the sound which was coming from Mishmi hills of Arunachal Pradesh. Second word we can see trust. It is past form of trudge, and I have already explained the meaning of trudge. Then third word is wistfully. Wistfully, meaning is with great desire, with great longing. And here it is used as the adverb of wistful. Now students, come to the next page, that is page number 26. The officers scolded Tyne for breaking the rules, but they knew that Tyne knew the route better than anyone else. So they allowed her to continue working. Her act would later help lift the ban on female potters. Now, the word ban means a law that does not allow people to do something. In the army, Tyne worked on many expeditions and soon became a coordinator. It was on one of her expeditions as a coordinator that she met Dr. Romeo Midi. At that time, Dr. Midi was working to promote adventure sports in Arunachal Pradesh and immediately identified Tyne's talent. "You are a natural gifted climber," he told her. "You have the strength and determination. Now, all you need is technique." Now students, we can see some words here: coordinator, adventure sports, naturally gifted, determination. Now what is the meaning of coordinator? Coordinator means someone who plans trips to the mountains. Adventure sports, exciting sports like mountaineering, whitewater rafting, and so on, usually with some danger or risk involved. Now, third word is naturally gifted. It means someone who does something very well on their own without training. Then, determination, a strong desire to do something. Dr. Mitte became Tyne's mentor and she began her training as a mountain climber. The distant mountains still called her, but Tyne did not know the name of the distant mountains till she watched the Race for Everest, a film about the first climb of Mount Everest. Wushu became a roar now, and climbing Mount Everest became her dream. After months of preparations, Tyne finally reached the Everest base camp in Nepal. It was bitterly cold and the air was thin. Tyne trained there for a few days to get accustomed to the harsh weather and then began her climb. The climb was difficult. Now students, let's see some words again. Mentor, base camp, air was thin, accustomed to. What is the meaning of mentor? Mentor means a person who helps, teaches and advises someone regularly. Base camp, a safe camp area usually at the foot of a mountain. People start climbing the mountain from this point. Air was thin. There wasn't enough air to breathe properly because of the height of the mountain. And the word accustomed to means used to. Now, again some explanation parts are here. We can see as women were not allowed to be potter in those days. So she decided to be dressed as a boy and started her training. But what happened? They recognized her, but they permitted her for the same because of her skills. Soon she became a coordinator and she also met Dr. Mitte, who later became her mentor. Dr. Mitte helped her to start her training as a mountain climber. She learned many techniques. Now, climbing Mount Everest became her dream. Some difficult words are coordinator. Here it is used for Tinemina. Adventure sports. Here it is promoted by Dr. Mitte. As I have already explained the meaning of adventure sports. Now, third difficult words you can see, immediately means quickly. Next is determination. It is used here to show strong desire of Tinemina to do something. Next you can see technique means skills. Then mentor. It is used for Dr. Mitte. Accustomed. It is used as adjective here. It means used to. Now children, come to page number 27. It was divided into 4 sections so that the climber could take rest at different camping points while journeying to the top of the mountain. But by the time Tyne and her companion Charing Sherpa reached the second camp, the weather had grown worse. "Do you want to go ahead?" Charing asked. "I don't think I will get another chance to do this," Tyne replied. She could hear the musical wushu growing louder and louder. It almost hypnotized her. Tyne and Charing somehow managed to reach their final camp. Just as they were about to take rest, the stormy wind blew their tent and supplies away. Students, now see the words hypnotized, supplies. What is the meaning of hypnotized? It is past form of hypnotize. And the meaning here is affected her like a magical spell. Supplies means things like food, torches, first aid kit and so on carried by mountaineers to help them survive on their journey. They had to spend the night in one borrowed tent, and when they set off for the final climb the next day, all Tyne and Charing had was a packet of noodles. Let's share half of it, Cherry suggested. Tyne nodded her head, smiling determinedly. If we make it alive, we will eat the other half. The higher they climbed, the stronger the wind grew. For every 2 steps they took, it sent them reeling back a step. It shrieked and howled, whispering dread into their ears and urging them to return. But Tyne could only hear the magical tune of whooshu. So they pushed ahead fearlessly and continued to climb to the top. Now children, some words are make it alive, reeling back, dread, urging. Now see what is the meaning of these words. Make it alive. Make it alive means manage to finish the climb and return alive. Next word, reeling back, moving backwards very unsteadily because of the heavy wind, because of very strong wind. Dread, great fear and uncertainty about what could happen. That is dread. And urging, trying to persuade or make someone do something. Now children, come to page number 28. Finally, at 10:45 a.m. on 9 May 2011, Tyne's efforts were rewarded. She summited Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. The first woman from northeast of India to have done so. She had found her faraway mountain and was one with the sound that had called her all her life. Now I can explain this part as when they started climbing Mount Everest, the climb was difficult and it was divided into 4 sections so that they could take rest. When Tyne and her companion Charing Sherpa reached the second camp, the weather had grown worse, but they did not ready to stop. That musical sound, whooshu, growing louder and louder. She was hypnotized by that sound. When they reached the final camp, the stormy wind blew their tent and supplies away. But they were not ready to stop. They pushed ahead fearlessly and continued to climb to the top. And finally, at 10:45 a.m. on 9th May 2011, Tyne climbed to the top of the Mount Everest. Some difficult words are supplies. Here, it is used for things like food, torches, first aid kit, and so on, carried by mountaineers to help them survive on their journey. Then, urging. It is used for the strong wind, storm, which was trying to send them back. Children, this was all about the lesson and the story about Tine Mina. I hope With the help of summary of the lesson and reading of the lesson, all of you will be able to understand it. Now, moral of the story is, for achieving anything, to reach to your destiny and to fulfill your dream, you need to be very strong, determined, inspired, and full of confidence. Now, children, in this lesson, you can find some difficult words. You will get some of them in your assignment. You will also get some word meanings and question answers of this lesson in your assignment itself. After listening this video, all of you have to read the lesson carefully with correct pronunciation. Dear children, this was all about today's video class. Wait for the next video. You will get more informations. Till then, stay safe, stay at home, take care of you and your family. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Goodbye.